This is ASS Breaking News.
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another ASS News exclusive. I'm your anchor, Assman Bin Licken. Brock Durkison is out on assignment looking for his balls. We have a very special guest here today, a Dr. Hans Lubenschitt, to talk about the recent developments in the German energy crisis. Dr. Lubenschitt, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So to jump right into it, Mr. Lubenschitt, we're getting reports that Germany is going to be reverting back to coal due to natural gas shortages.
Yes. What we found is this energy source in Germany from 1945. This
So
is
you
new
found-
energy.
You found coal deposits from 1945?
We found coal deposits 1945.
And you're saying that these new, well, not new, but coal deposits you found from 1945 are cleaner than natural gas or even nuclear?
We found they are most clean, and what we found was this will be answer to Russia problem.
So the Russia problem, Germany recently has decided to close down six of its nuclear power, the six of its remaining nuclear power plants. Can you walk us through how that is more green and burning coal? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. Coal is one of the worst burning natural resources that we can have when it comes to energy. So where is Germany's thinking? Where's the logic? That's what I'm saying. And Germans are very renowned for their logic. I'm not finding any here.
It is not supposed to make sense. What we found, though, is that when you have these coal deposits, you relinquish entire dependence on Russia.
Yeah, these are not making sense at all. And I do have a question for you. What is that red band on your arm? Indicate? And why is Castle Wolfenstein behind you?
No, sir. I big video game. I play many video game. This is actually an ode to my favorite company, Adidas. I just have big muscle, and my doctor say if it gets really stretched, I have to stop vacuuming it.
Are you really okay? I'm sorry, Mr. Dr. Lubenschitt. I'm sorry. Are you really a German engineer, or are you like Borat's cousin and I'm being punked?
What I want to say to you, sir, is have you heard about Candace?
Candace? Who's Candace?
Moss up here is part of this broader story. These are the four witnesses we heard from today. Gabe Sterling, Brad Raffensperger, and Rusty Bowers, all of them describing the pressure they were facing. In previous hearings, we've heard from others who were on the receiving end of pressure, including someone that was mentioned a fair amount today, DJ Pack, the former U.S. attorney for the Northern District of Georgia, who resigned when he
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
And I'm Jay Kobbe.
Welcome to Habibi Power Hour. We're the Habibi Bros. And what you just saw right there really is a tribute to our favorite company, Adidas.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what it was.
And the greatest game of all time, Wolfenstein.
Yeah, because who doesn't like killing Nazis? That's exactly what that whole thing was about.
Exactly. Yeah. Where are you guys getting this idea that we are supposedly doing things that are antithetical to the Habibi Bros and Habibi brand? Okay.
Never. Us.
Nah,
Astaghfirullah al-Azim.
it couldn't be us.
Who would have thought?
Not me.
I had to go into the end because you were right. At the beginning of that skit, Siraj called it. He's like, I'm gonna completely fall into a Borat accent. And it happened like the second sentence. It fell right into it.
Yep.
But hey, that's what's so good about it. Sup, fan? Cold open was busting for real, no cap. Praying this slaps or no cap. I'm a bounce and crackle while I play PS5. Thank you. Thank you. I have no idea what any of that means. Like
amazing.
Zero idea. But it's been quite a
long week. It has been a long week.
You went from DC back to Florida. How has that been, by the way? I mean, I feel like you were barely in one place for a full month. How do you like this flying over and over again and getting cavity searched every time?
Honestly, Ernie brings it out in me, and for as little as I get touched, it's nice to be touched.
It really is.
Matter. It usually doesn't matter if it's a an obese 40-year-old male or an obese 50-year-old male or possibly a obese 60-year-old male.
You know, the
hands are hands, Jay.
The video I sent to the group chat, that is you every time you pass by TSA and get cavity searched. It's 100%. That's what it is. It's 100% it.
100%, yeah.
Man, if that group chat ever gets exposed or shown to the public, I honestly think like not only would we be thrown in jail and canceled, and rightfully so. I think it would be rightfully so. I think everybody would be like, you know what? I knew these people were like that. And when they say these people, they find the plans of us trying to cause another 9/11.
Jay, I'm not gonna lie to you. This has been one of those weeks where, people are getting exposed left and right. And I think we called it a month ago. I'm not gonna lie. Everything you're seeing happen in Uvalde, Texas, sort of speaks to that. And I actually didn't get my tinfoil hat ready because I don't need it because everything we said was true. Right?
I know, like this right here is not a tinfoil hat. This is a truth hat.
It's a truthy hat.
This is a hat that becomes true in 2 months.
That's right. It's a truth social hat.
That's what it is.
Right. So, I mean, more and more we're hearing about. Let's just like highlight it because I have this shit right here.
Stop picking.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy. I got you.
Did Emily tell you that I should stop doing it?
No, I got you.
Thank you. You're just like my wife, except you actually touch me.
Oh shit!
True.
It's all good, Happy. 100%.
So, this is the Texas Tribune, tweeting out: law enforcement officers are shown on video inside of Uvalde's Robb Elementary School at 12:04 p.m. on May 24th. They have guns. They have shields. Police did not enter the classroom where the shooter was for another 46 minutes.
They have full body armor. I mean,
look at that helmet.
They were stopping They were stopping mothers and fathers who had nothing. They were stopping women who had nothing, who had more balls than these motherfuckers did to go rush in.
Yeah, there was a teacher who was shot and called her husband, and was dying, and he basically so an Uvalde officer and husband of slain teacher detained when he tried to save his wife, because she died in the shooting. He was stopped by other law enforcement officials, and he had a firearm on him, and basically was completely derailed and halted from ever going even. They took his gun away and escorted him off the scene. It's just one of those things that makes you more and more angry. At that point, Jay, it was, look, I don't know what the reports were on where the what's it called? Did my internet go out?
No, Rumble. I think Rumble's down.
Oh, great. Just in time.
That's
Jay.
Yeah, Rumble's down. I was actually just chatting going to send it to the private chat that if Rumble is down, and I'm trying to refresh it. It's up. It's back up.
Ah, that's what she said.
That's what she said. Rumble's back up. Sorry, guys. Yeah, because honestly, it could have been one or the other. It could have been our internet or theirs. But I'm really glad that since you started over there, you've been making some really good strides in getting them to get onto the Pakistani internet.
Jay, I've just been telling them time and time again that you're not doing a good job unless your internet kicks out underneath you.
Absolutely.
Dan West Pizza says Uvalde PD Habibi group chat straight to jail epic handshake meme. What?
Yeah, like OMG, FMAL, and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely. But no, as we were going before, we were distracted with the Rumble stuff. It's really just sad. Every new aspect of information that's been coming out on the Uvalde shooting is just absolutely heartbreaking. There was a lot of things that could have happened to save lives, and it was a failure on every level.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the worst part about it is that the more information that comes out, the more it sounds like, and again, this is the hunch, is that whoever gave them the stand down order, it's looking more and more like it was the feds who did. And the only question I have is why.
No, the feds didn't do anything because they don't do anything ever. I mean, the only thing they did?
Literally, on the same week that this all happened, the feds stopped an ISIS terrorist from assassinating George W. Bush. Don't tell me the feds don't do anything. Of course they do.
Yeah, they planned these assassinations and then thwart them for us to believe that they are actually fucking useful and shit. Just like when they arrested all those what were they called? Freedom Patriots or whatever?
Patriot Front.
Patriot Front. They arrested all those Patriot Front guys from thwarting the other thing. And you know what's really funny? How come they weren't able to catch the would-be assassin of Brett Kavanaugh? Why did it have to be his security? They were so good at thwarting, kidnapping and all that kind of stuff going one way, but when this happened, they had no idea about it.
Yeah, a lot of it just doesn't make sense. And again, only two possibilities, really: massive incompetence or something far more nefarious. And it sounds like that the way things are going since, with this new red flag gun law that's gaining steam, that 14 Senate Republicans have voted in favor of, basically, I don't know if people want to call it a gun grab, but I'm pretty sure it's a gun grab. Yeah,
it is. It is it's a pretty disgusting way to put in a gun grab, because just like what they were trying to do in gun control after Columbine, is that they were doing the same thing with Uvalde and
Andy Hook, yeah,
throwing dead bodies around for us to be able to just give up our shit, when in reality what needs to start happening is we need to start having authority figures being held responsible for their fucking incompetence and when they fucking fail. We don't have that.
You can literally pass all the laws in the world, but if you have a police force that does nothing to enforce it, they're literally called law enforcement officers, in which they literally are supposed to enforce the law. If you don't enforce the law, that's a dereliction of your duty and the oath that you basically took to protect and serve your community. At that point, why are you even a police officer? So if you want to look at like what happened during 9/11, obviously 9/11 was an issue of like massive government incompetence paired with partisan politics, paired with basically a terrorist group operating under the radar and basically getting on the radar of all these intelligence agencies, and then the Fed's not doing anything about it.
Well, also, I mean, to be fair, in 9/11, they had help from the person in the White House, so it was kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean, they were orchestrated by Bush. Let's never forget
that. And another thing, like these red these red flag laws, and Harrisville villain over on the chat saying it's going to be stop and frisk on steroids. And honestly, I think that's exactly what it's going to be. You're going to have false accusations being thrown around, people using these things just to go after their opponents, or people they just don't like. And it's really, and have any of us read what's really in it? Have any of us read exactly what's going to happen with these, how it's going to be used, how it's going to be monitored, how it's going to be enforced, how if people falsely accuse other people, like how they're going to be the ones in trouble, how somebody who's going to be on a red flag list, how is he going to work his way to get out of it? How are we going to just say and put a list on somebody and label somebody as guilty and force them to prove themselves to get out of it? That's not what the law is intended for.
Bro, that's not what the law is intended for. And literally every single time something bad happens, Congress comes out with a new law that's supposed to address a problem. It's supposed to address the problem that just happened, and it almost never does. It almost never does, Jay.
Nope.
All it does is, like you said, gives more power to the federal government, allows them to act with impunity, and they're not held accountable by anything. Instead, what we're seeing happen right now in Uvalde is you have the police chief, at least for the Uvalde school district, being placed on administrative leave. And that's supposed to be, what? Is that supposed to be it? Like, is that the only head that's going to roll?
It looks like it. But I mean, I think everybody in that picture that we saw that had all that armor and everything and stood there for 50 fucking minutes and did nothing, they all should lose their fucking jobs as well. Every one of them should lose their badge, not be police officers anymore. And I mean, holy fuck, the biggest heroes in that case the biggest hero was a border patrol officer that just happened to be there.
Yeah. And again, like, that's one of those things where who was calling the shots? Who was calling the shots? Was it Border Patrol? Was it another aspect of, was it the higher ups at DHS? Was it the FBI? More shit is gonna eventually come to light, but by that time it's gonna be far too late to do anything about it, and we'll basically have already given up all of our more of our rights and more of our control to the government. Josh G says, how many armed shootouts is this going to lead to when the cops come to collect the weapons in the no-knock raid? Breonna Taylor, killed in a no-knock raid. If this doesn't turn you into, if this doesn't red pill you and radicalize you, I don't know what will.
Well, I mean, more than just red pill, but even black pill you when you hear stuff like this. I mean, more and more people, and especially more and more conservatives and people.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say this is awakening more and more people to be against, like, wholeheartedly supporting the police. You're seeing more and more conservatives come to the realization that these people are given authority to trample all over your fucking rights. They're supposed to be answering to you, protecting you, doing all of this stuff for you. But instead, what do? Instead of going after like the real fucking crimes and everything, they're killing people for selling cigarettes on the street. They're fucking going after people who have concealed carry in their car and shooting them. They're fucking letting kids just be killed in schools. They're stopping people for going 5 miles over the fucking speed limit. And yes, it's a hard job. Yes, there's a lot of things that go on, but we have given too much, and we have been empathizing too much to the police. They work for us at the end of the day. They're supposed to protect us, and too many times we see them abuse this power, nothing happening to them, and them getting away with it.
I think one thing that's obviously been very fascinating in all of this is just where people's priorities lie. And particularly in the sense that you have many liberals, particularly gun control advocates, say that they're in favor of such a law. We just have too many guns on the street, too many shootings. Look, guns were never the problem, Jay. Guns are just a tool to kill. Prior to, like, the very first school shooting I had heard about was in 1999. Okay. There was apparently an assault weapons ban in 1994 that was in place for 10 years and basically extended all the way till 2004. So that shooting happened in the middle of an assault weapons ban that was passed by both chambers of Congress and signed into law by then President Bill Clinton. And all I have to say is the reason they're focusing on guns is because, as we said before, it's a matter of control. They can't impose all of these crazy restrictions on you. They can't take your kids away. They can't take your kids away from you. They can't indoctrinate them. They can't, seize your property or your land or any of your assets. If you didn't have any guns, I'm telling you, if they took away all our guns, they could do that shit tomorrow.
They do have a lot of that power still, but guns does thwart a lot of it. I do believe it, and having more guns in the hands of citizens than there are people is, I think, a very good thing, and I think we should have it. But there's the reason why they don't want to go into the real issue is because it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to be very unpopular to talk about young men's health, mental health specifically. They don't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to bring up the issue of men's health and mental health, because what do a lot of these people have in common? They're all young men. They're all they all have social anxiety issues. They have social issues. They have, issues that could be really helped with therapy, with talking to somebody, with actually telling them that they actually should open up and talk to people and see what's going on. And you see the signs happen over and over again. Yeah. But instead of wanting to actually put the work into it, no, they want to steal your tax dollars, not give a shit about that, and then take your rights away. That's what government is all good for. All of it is what governments are good for. And another thing, and Josh G also brings it, is that also broken homes do ruin kids. broken homes are one of the worst things to happen to men. And if you don't have a good father figure or a good like idol to look up to, or a good way to not just idolize but also try to emulate, you're not going to grow up well. You really aren't. If your surrounding is nothing but your mother getting beaten, or your mother sleeping around, or drugs everywhere, or gang banging, or any of this type of stuff, you think that the impressionable kid is really going to grow up and be healthy? I mean, yes, a lot of kids do grow out of it, but this is already a negative on them.
It's different for everyone, which is why during Pride Month, Jay and I particularly favor a two-father home.
Well, yeah. I mean, I favor a two-parent home no matter what it is. I favor a two-parent home.
That's actually preferable because, Jay, you and I both know that we were raised the shit out of our kids.
Absolutely. And also women are incompetent in every way. So like 100%. Why would we need them
during Pride Month? Who needs women, right?
Oh, hell yeah. No accidents here, baby.
Bros before women.
It's for the boys.
Saturday is for the boys? No, every day is for the boys.
Every day during June.
Or being told, how evil and bad they are because they are white males. But there's a lot of demonization to go around. It seems like there's been a rotating cycle of it. Right now, like in the early 2000s, was definitely maybe up until like, I don't know, late 2010s, that the focus was all on like Middle Eastern or brown Arab, South Asian Muslim men as like that they're the problem. The focus has shifted to like white men, I think in the 90s and 80s and possibly 70s and before that, and probably all the way up basically to the beginning of
it's been
founding of this country. It probably was like
the founding of the country all the way up to the 90s. It was black men and thugs. Then it was Arabs.
All the way
then now it's whites.
Yeah, all the way up until 9/11, 2001. It was all like the focus was all on black people, and particularly black men. They're the aggressors. And then 9/11 happened, and then the focus shift over to Muslim men. So what Jay and I are really trying to say is, you're welcome, black men. Jay and I basically bailed you out, and now all the focus is on white men. So again, as Jay and I, who are also both half white, you're welcome, Muslim men, for basically taking the heat off of you.
That's how we do it.
So, by the way, before we, I just want to highlight here, because the police are so, they're in obviously they're in the spotlight right now. I just want to highlight this one aspect here, because if you were not in favor, if you were like very vehemently opposed to defunding the police, just watch this.
Hi, I'm Officer Les with the Columbus Division of Police. I'm your LGBTQIA+ liaison officer. And we're unveiling right now our Pride Cruiser for the month of June.
Ooh. Nothing.
Report hate crimes.
I'm excited about this cruiser. It's great for representation.
It's great for representation. Love is love. You know what would be great? Having this in the background, love is love, while they're beating the shit out of a black kid for selling cigarettes on the fucking corner. That would be absolutely amazing. Yes. Love is love. Fuck you. Fuck the police. You know what? This says I'm on board. Defund the police. Let's go.
Jay, we already have a
cruiser.
We already have Jay. We already have an LGBTQIA what's it called? we already have an LGBTQIA liaison officer.
Oh yeah,
Lieutenant
we've had it. We've had him for
We've
God
had
knows
him
how
for
long.
quite some time.
Yes.
He's come on our television screens for years during our upbringing.
This show in the beginning actually was really good. Like it was fucking
It was
hilarious.
it was pretty fucking funny.
It was pretty funny. But but going over the good, like the real issues, like that's where our budget should go. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much for painting the flag on your cruiser boat, which is really funny because in 2 weeks that flag is going to be obsolete because they keep on fucking changing it to include everyone else. You know what? You know what flag includes everybody?
Mhm.
The American flag. You fucking dumb pieces of fucking shit.
No,
Garbage
Jay,
pieces
Jay,
of
hold up,
fucking.
Joe, Jay, hold up.
I swear to God, I don't know. Like honestly, you know, we did this the cold open and stuff.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, do we really need college kids? Do we really need college? Like, can we just round them all up and
What?
play Smash Brothers?
Yeah, but we gotta play
Yeah,
Smash
absolutely.
Brothers,
Yeah, and when you lose, you die.
it's like the ancient dude. It's like the ancient Aztecs or Mayans, but with video games in the modern age.
Exactly right. You gotta play for your life.
Game. You play a game, like basically like try to get a fiery stone ball into a hole. And the losing team basically gets sacrificed to the gods.
I think that would be absolutely entertaining. Like 100, like absolutely 100%. 100%.
One other thing though, Jay, is that when I think about how how everything has gone down with college kids, we don't need them. In fact, we don't need school at all. In fact, I don't think school helps anyone whatsoever. But you know what does help them?
Tell me.
Watching Habibi Power Hour, because that is all the education you need.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure we've educated the fuck out of these guys.
You learn
right now.
politics. You learn politics, and then most importantly, techniques for ass eating, which are the two main staples of life.
Exactly. And to make sure that we are able to get to a broader audience, the message, make sure to subscribe and like the video.
Absolutely. And then if you really wanted to, check out our community, our locals community. We actually did a pretty fun list stream the other night. Yes, Dig says, did Siraj just rip off the Woo without credit? Wow, I subconsciously cited the RZA.
What's RZA?
RZA?
You know, I've never listened to one song from the Wu-Tang Clan. Not one. I haven't listened to one song.
Jay, when you come for this ass in Florida, we'll play some Wu-Tang Clan while we're fucking. But yeah,
that sounds good to me.
But I just wanted to highlight one thing, Jay, because I know you talked about obviously the inclusivity of flags, okay? And I just want to say one thing. If our flag was I will give you the most inclusive flag of all time, okay? And you're gonna like this one, Jay. Trust me. Do you want to know how much you're gonna like it?
I'm ready for it.
Just a picture of an asshole. Like a literal asshole, not like, like, oh, this person's an asshole. No, I'm talking about a physical asshole. And it could be, all shades of the, colors. Oh my God. Oh my God. What's the revised version? There's a revised version from this episode too. And it's like, oh yeah, this is the revised version. They
yeah, this is they added the black guy.
It was literally a bunch of white stick figures hanging
and one black guy.
A black stick figure, and then they changed it from multi. That was the original. Oh my God! Oh, Eric Soderstrom says now you're just ripping off Community, Siraj Hashmi. Wait, was that
Community?
I don't even remember.
I don't even know.
I only watched the first season, and I don't even remember that being in there.
I don't even remember that being in there at all either.
Yeah.
But I mean, college and look, education in of itself, especially through public schools now, and finally, and it's really funny because people have been calling this since God knows how long, but it's finally. I'm hearing feedback on myself.
Here, let me come back on you. Give me a second.
So it was literally like 10, 15, 20 years ago, people have been drumming this, been hitting this drum that we're going to see the effects of this safe spaces, inclusivity, the PC culture, all of this kind of crap, like evolve into complete authoritarian bullshit. And it was really, really insane. In the 1990s, you had that. He's so crazy now. What's his name? DeSouza? DeSouza? Is that his name?
Dinesh D'Souza?
Yes, Dinesh D'Souza in the 1990s. Him and a couple other conservatives, they actually did rounds on speeches in campus cultures and stuff, talking about how PC culture is going to evolve into basically what we're seeing now. And it's insane to read. You know what I mean? Because like back then, everybody must have seen these people as fucking insane lunatics. I mean, hell, you had the insane guy from Prager, and just because they're right about some of these things doesn't mean they're right about everything. But the guy from the Prager University or whatever, what is it called? Prager U?
Yeah, Prager U.
He sat with Bill Maher and some other guests in 2019 talking about how they are going to push and say that men can menstruate. And he was laughed. Like the whole audience, Bill Maher, everybody was laughing at the guy. There's a clip. You can see the clip.
Sorry, I was just trying to connect my AirPods to the stream, and it was like basically... I was blowing on both sides, kind of like how
Fuzzy's mom is on weekends. But look, so
no,
what's really
like this, Jay?
Yes, it was Dennis Prager. Yeah, that's Fuzzy's mom, 100%.
Yeah.
So it was Dennis Prager on Bill Maher in 2019. He actually said that they are going to start pushing the idea that men can menstruate, and you being against that means you're a bigot. And everybody was laughing him off stage. What we're seeing, and luckily more and more people are being awakened to it, is indoctrination of children through public schools and through colleges. You can't deny it. You cannot call it crazy anymore. It's not a conspiracy theory. This is what's happening. And it's happening with the same people, the same pieces of fucking garbage that like to say that male and female, men and women, all that kind of, these two genders are social constructs. But a child who's 8 years old in elementary that says he's trans because he has a fucking activist of a teacher saying that you can be a boy or girl or all this fucking bullshit in their minds, that's in their DNA. That's embedded in their DNA. You cannot say that they're not that way, but you can say that if they say they're a boy, that's a social construct.
I'm sorry, Jay. Can you repeat that again? Man, I was having audio issues.
Yes. Okay. So out in the beginning. So what's really amazing that in the 1990s you had that one. He's like an Indian dude, DeSouza.
No, I'm kidding. I think I heard a good chunk of what you said. Basically, yeah. Here's the thing. The way that people have been calling it, I think twice before I call someone crazy now. Not in the sense of like, calling them like they're actually lunatics, but I'm talking about like the ideas that they're putting forward are just so mind-boggling in terms of whether they're actually going to happen or not. There's some that, you can look at it on its face and be like, all right, no, that idea is legitimately insane. But now I kind of look at it, and I'm not saying that I obviously subscribe to any of these ideas, but I always like start to think about it more, because when you hear them, I don't just dismiss it outright. I actually try to think about what it is that they're saying and why they believe what they believe. And we've obviously gotten to the point in our society where most people just dismiss others outright, especially if what they're saying does not fit either the narrative or their own worldview, or just, they're so brainwashed that nothing will ever shake their mindset.
And that's what they are. They are brainwashed, and it's like that on both sides. Like, I'm not going to say that one side is more than the other, but what we're seeing in academia,
you can't quantify. You can't quantify it. You can't quantify it. You can only You can only spotlight it here and there where you see it, and
in academia itself, it's coming one way. It's coming from one side, and
academia is largely dominated by left wing. Same with like entertainment, music, art, tech. Even it's starting to like more and more. Most industries that we have seen are largely dominated by, or at least that white collar work, Jay. Usually white collar work dominated by left wing, blue collar work usually dominated by the right. And honestly, I'm just amazed at how many people try to deny that there is such a thing as a dominance of one side in one particular industry over another.
Oh, especially like in media and journalism too.
And I think one thing, Jay, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, because I remember when Tim Pool did that show on Joe Rogan with Vijaya Gadde and Jack Dorsey of Twitter.
Yeah, on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah, and they were specifically talking about like the terms of service and why people get banned, and it was rather enlightening, not for the fact of like what it was that they were saying, but if you watched it, Vijaya Gadde specifically
Vagina
Gadde was specifically inserting politics into their terms of service when it came to like misgendering trans users. And obviously it's a political debate between liberals and conservatives and people just in general about whether someone who is a biological male and decides to get gender reassignment surgery to a female is legitimately a woman or a female, and vice versa. And obviously a lot of conservatives, social conservatives, believe that they're still a male, a biological male, even if they've had gender reassignment surgery. And Vijaya Gadde basically went with the liberal line of approach that they were going to basically affirm that trans users a gender reassignment surgery and identify them as a woman, and anyone who counters that or contradicts that would basically get banned. So what's interesting about that particular tidbit was that Vijaya Gadde was so into the weeds on this that she did not realize that her own worldview is biased. And that's where I think where a lot of people are coming from, is that it's not about whether they are I think people just lack the awareness to know whether they're coming at it an issue from a biased perspective. And especially when politics is taken so personally, people usually think of right versus wrong, and rather than looking at it through different like gradients of, this is what some people do versus what others do, and sometimes it's this way and other times it's that way, but also sometimes it's this third way. And that's usually, I think, to sum up right there, that is kind of where we are. People just don't realize that they're biased.
I believe so, and I'm totally over this argument that they're doing all of this with good intentions because they want to do that, and their good intentions there is like to stop bullying against trans people. That's their claim on why they would ban anyone who misgenders because it could be bullying and stuff, but that is again, like you were saying, affirming one side of the story and not listening to the other. When there's science on the side of the person who says, no, that person is a male. That person is a he. That person is a guy, a boy. That's not a woman. You cannot just state that you are a woman and then say that biologically in every way you are a woman. That's it. That's what a woman is. As long as you identify it, you're a woman. You can't do that. And then you close off discussions on how it's better to treat it one way or another. Because look, gender dysphoria is real. It happens in kids and they grow out of it. More than 90% of kids grow out of this thing where they think they're a girl, or if they're wearing dresses, or if they like to play with dolls, or if a girl likes to wear baggy hoodies. All of that kind of stuff, they grow out of it. Doesn't mean that they are that other gender. And what we have going on, instead of it being, at the home where you can actually go and get help, where you can go and talk to therapists, licensed individuals that
Did
go
you just say
through
airpists?
Therapists, not armpists. Therapists.
I heard airpists.
No. That's what I'm going to be doing to you in Florida. Therapists, licensed and educated therapists on these issues. Instead of doing that, we have activist teachers. These are teachers who are activists. These are teachers who do not have training on how to deal with these situations. They are activists that just affirm what they fucking believe and put it on top of an impressionable kid. Children are so impressionable that if they see a princess or a Disney princess, they're like, oh, I want to be a princess when I grow up. I still do. But they are impressionable as kids. And we're just sitting back and saying that it's totally normal for a fucking teacher to say this is how lesbians have sex. If you think you're a fucking woman, you're a woman. Like, this is garbage. It's absolute garbage. And more and more people are standing up against it. So her being biased like that is and I'm biased against it all the way through. But the science is more on the side of the person calling a trans person who wants to be a woman a man. It's on the side of science.
Yeah. And yeah, obviously they politicize science as well. Can I ask a question? Where TF, where
Right
the
here.
Fatima are the drinks?
I've been drinking the whole
Is
fucking time.
HPH dead? So I'm on a detox. Long story short, I basically, I should I just give the full story, Jay?
Just show us your just take
All right,
your
hold on. Let's just take the
let's do
shirts
it.
off first.
Show us the detox, baby.
Let's show the detox, baby. Yeah. There we go.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Beautiful. For one, Jay, here, hold on. I need to make sure I get more body shot for you guys because I want to make sure. Josh G says Siraj is pregnant, so can't drink. Obviously true.
100%.
No, Jay, this is what I was gonna say. So basically, I had my wife and I were just exposed to basically mold.
Oh.
And at our house, and basically I got a bunch of mycotoxins in my system. So
No, that's just little J cum.
that's basically from the last visit. Was that a year ago, Jay? No,
No, it was like was it a year ago or 2 years ago? No, a year ago. It was
almost
a year ago.
Yeah. So but on the path towards health, and maybe I'll get the alcohol in the mix again, but at the moment. Jay's gonna have to do the heavy lifting.
I have some thoughts, and I want to share with you, and also, get your thoughts on it as well. What do you think about people who claim that they're non-binary? What do you think about people who say they're non-binary, that makes them trans, but they don't go through the process of becoming the other, like they don't go through transitioning, but we're supposed to treat them as if they're trans?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if that's something where I can't tell if it's like a phase, like a goth phase, or an emo phase. I'm like more inclined to believe that it's like one of those phases for people who decide they are not going to identify as a man or a woman or male or female. They're going to be, she sure or she shang ping.
Xi Jinping.
It's just like, Jay, I look, how much do you want to participate in someone's self-image? Like if they decide that they're going to change their first and last name and, talk about how they, they can never be a man again, they can never be a woman again, and they got to focus on being, a non-conformist. Like ultimately, Jay, they're being conformist by not conforming to societal norms. And that's why I'm more inclined to think that they're actually going through a phase over anything. And some people, I guess, within the age of the internet, it's obviously very difficult to not leave a record, like a trace of your digital footprint. So I think some people decide to double and triple down on it because they simply don't want to be called out on that shit later.
No, I'm with you on that, and I think like that it is a phase, and I think it is one way that they believe that they are going to be considered special or accepted, in for who they are and all that kind of stuff as well. And I think there's a lot of social pressure put on them to be considered either gay or non-binary or any of this LGBTQ stuff. Maybe not gay and lesbian and stuff, but very specifically non-binary and trans. It's become like cool and fucking. It's the weirdest thing. Like my sister's daughter actually. Like I don't even want to. Well, I did call it my sister's daughter. It's like my half sister. Like it's people I know. Their daughter actually went through a phase like this through school. Their youngest one, and their middle child and their oldest child were like not just freaking out, but just like, what the fuck is going on here? Why are you even thinking this and doing this? And when you talk to these kids who are in middle school and in high school, and going over like what is the school teaching about gender and teaching about all this type of stuff, and they're like, you don't even want to know. Like I don't even think I can tell you what they're actually doing in these classrooms and actually teaching to these kids and all this type of stuff. It is so fucking harmful, and it's a huge issue. It's a huge issue that needs to be confronted, and people and more people are not backing down by being called bigots and all this fake fucking garbage. They're not, and it's a good thing.
Jay, there was a great quote by Mark Twain, and he said it about newspapers, and it's about, he's like, if you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed, but if you do read the newspaper, you're misinformed. And that's kind of the approach that that if I could apply that analogy to schools for a second, in the sense that if you don't go to school, you might be uninformed about X, Y, and Z. But if you do go to school, you are misinformed about the way the world works because you're being indoctrinated by everything.
Yeah.
You're being indoctrinated by the schools. Here,
Well,
hold on.
specifically,
it's earned time, so let me go get them.
go get them. And
But you make your point.
Yeah, it's indoctrinated specifically by teachers, by activist teachers. Like, what the fuck? Where did we get to in thinking that teachers that teach 8th grade should have pride flags in their fucking school? If we can't have the American flag, why the fuck are we having the pride flag around in there? Why the fuck are our kids sitting there listening to teachers coming out to them who are fucking 8 years old? What is that? That's absolute garbage. Why are you you are so needy and narcissistic that getting acceptance from 8-year-olds makes your life fucking feel fulfilled? Like you can finally believe that you exist in the world? It's disgusting. It's sick. You need a lot of help. Like, they need more help than fucking 8-year-olds clapping for them because they don't know what the fuck is going on. And they need to go to therapy. They need to go to therapists. They need to go and see why it is that they need this affirmation. Maybe they got beat by their dads or their moms or something, and they need to open this and get over it and stuff. But having children be a tool for you to feel like have affirmation in your life is garbage. And I'm not going to clap for it. I am not going to accept it. I am not going to say that this is actually good. That thinking that fucking 8-year-olds know enough about life to think that this is a good thing, or think it's a bad thing, or think that it's acceptable or not acceptable. They're like, oh, children are so innocent. Yeah, they go and eat their shit off of the fucking toilet or go eat rocks, for fuck's sake. They're so innocent. They know more about life. Like, you are a fucking mentally retarded motherfucker if you think that kids know more about life and can affirm your existence. Like, there's something really wrong with you to think that. It's so fucking insane. Like, I can't even say I can understand these people, because you can't. It's not logical. It has nothing to do with reality as you see it.
Yeah, no, nothing makes sense. And I missed half of that conversation, but I feel like I understood everything you're saying, Jay.
Absolutely.
What were you saying?
Essentially 100%.
Essentially. Here's Ernie. You haven't seen
we went all the way to where, there's teachers coming out to their kids. Like, I'm saying, where did we get to where they have the pride, like we're allowing pride flags and male teachers to walk in with high heels and makeup on to kids who are 8 years old. And then they go and clap and say, kids, I'm a princess. Kids, I'm actually blah. And I'm actually bi. Or, I fuck my wife with a dildo. And then they get clapped. They get clapped from kids. And they're like, oh, the affirmation from the pure heart children. It feels so good. It's it's sick. It's disgusting.
Literally, no, please show me a teacher a heterosexual teacher who talks about having sex with his or her spouse, and I'll show you someone who's a heterosexual teacher, mind you, heterosexual, a straight teacher telling their students about them getting it on with their spouse, and I'll show you someone who's in jail.
Exactly. Can you imagine, if if one of us were a teacher who went in and said how our wives like to put a strap on and fuck us in the ass, we would look at we're fucking retarded. We would be looked at like we're disgusting predators. That's what we would be looked at as. And and not the dildo thing, but if we talk about how we have sex with our wives, or men and women, how they do it to each other, to fucking 6 and 8 year olds. What the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing here? I don't get it.
It's not, Jay, again, it's not designed to make sense. It's designed to make you go insane. This is all by design. All of it by design. This, and I've said it before, they want to make you go insane, because if you go insane, then the tendency or the trajectory of you acting irrationally and basically doing something stupid would justify basically the government's actions in taking control, more power, and they'll just continue to gaslight you. Let me just give you the best in terms of like gaslighting. I want to show you this little tidbit here, because the gaslighting can be as benign as something like what we're seeing with the economy. And the reason why it's so striking here is because you're literally having people go on cable news. At this point, MSNBC is state media. Who are we kidding? Simping for the Biden administration. Just watch this clip real quick.
Where we are right now?
You know, I'm just going to say this, and if I get bang for it, I don't care. There is a great deal of Americans where it is uncomfortable that they're spending more, but they are not going to go under. You know, you got to stop complaining when there's so many people who literally the inflation rate means they may only have 2 meals instead of 3. There are Americans who did extremely well in the last 2 years in the market. You still have your job. And yeah, it's costing you more for gas, but guess what? You're still going to take that holiday, that 4th of July vacation. You could still eat out. So I'm going to need you to calm down and back off, because it feeds into this fear, and then this fear feeds into people making decisions that creates the very thing that they're fearful of.
Sorry, I boomered it. So Jay, we watched that clip, and they're literally saying this commentator is telling us
She's not a
that-
commentator. She's a fucking WAPO reporter. She's a Washington Post reporter.
Is she really Washington Post reporter?
Yes.
Wow.
And the fact that she's saying this shit, and she's like, there's some people who are really going to have a hard time. Yes. And fuck you, you dumb bitch. Even if I'm making less than $20,000 than what I was doing before, fuck you, that's my money. That's my money. That's my hard-earned fucking shit that's going to me that they fucked up. I don't give a fuck if I can still go and buy another Mercedes and shit like that. Fuck you. So what if I can? Fuck you. I don't give a shit. Like, fuck you. Like, that's the only thing that people need to be saying to her. Even if I can go and make trips to Hawaii and go fucking anywhere I want and buy another fucking car and get a Mach-E and do all this type of stuff. Yeah, I can do that. But
Yeah,
I
mean,
still have lost all of this fucking money that I could have been making. And it's lost because the incompetence of this fucking administration. And no, I'm not going to calm down.
Like, Jay, I can't tell you how many times lawsuits have been filed against organizations, against certain entities because of for damages because of lost potential income. Because whether it's defamation, like this whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation, whatever you want to think about that whole situation, like the purpose of that trial was to seek recompense for damages made by Amber Heard towards Johnny Depp. And actually, Johnny Depp owed some money to Amber Heard because apparently they both defamed each other. It just so happened that Amber Heard defamed Johnny Depp more than Johnny Depp defamed Amber Heard. Sorry, that's a wild tangent. I don't know if we needed to.
No. I get where you're going to, because like the thing is like the defamation that happened there is a loss of income to Johnny Depp, and he's trying to win it back. We have lost rightful.
Like every single American right now is basically getting defamed by being called. Hold on. What did Ultra MAGA? Although that's not really. That's actually not. No,
and the thing is, Ultra MAGA doesn't really.
That's like calling Mitch McConnell Cocaine Mitch and thinking, yeah, got him
and stuff. But like more to your point, there's a loss of income that has happened to the American people from the incompetence, and that's what it is. It's the incompetence of this administration. The incompetence of this administration has cost American families detrimental at the grocery store checkout, at the pump, at their fucking salary, at getting a raise, at getting a job, at being paid well. All of this stuff has happened, and it is loss of income this year that they're going to incur because of the incompetence of this administration. That is the truth here. That is what has happened. And for this bitch to be so out of it, to say, I need you to calm down, is absolute garbage. Like, I would piss on her face.
So that's what you meant. Air piss.
Air piss.
Air piss. Jay, there was another story, because this is obviously a good tie-in to what we were going to talk about with respect to gas prices and this gas tax holiday. So the Biden administration wants to relieve they want to provide quote unquote relief to Americans for lifting up a 18-cent tax on gas. Is that what I'm hearing?
That is exactly what you're hearing. It's going to do jack shit. It's going to do nothing.
So, I mean, I think it should be interesting that kind of ties into what we were going to talk about with respect to the energy crisis, because we are in the middle of an energy crisis. I will never, ever dunk on a doomsday prepper ever again. Even though I didn't do it a whole lot, but I'll never think low of them, because they're obviously the what is it? Are they the ant? They're the ant that like basically worked all summer and is harvesting, throughout the winter, or like
yes.
Because what we're seeing right now, you have a massive shortage. There's going to be obviously massive shortage on food. Gas is exorbitantly high on demand. And the U.S., at least the Biden administration, refuses to do anything about it. At least in the sense of actual relief, which, Jay, we obviously know what that solution is, and that is use your own resources, something that the Biden administration refuses to do because they think climate change is going to kill all of us.
Right. It's going to kill. Like, climate change is so important that we have gone back to coal. It is so detrimental that we have people going back to fucking coal. It is so fucking harmful that we are going to go pay third world countries that cannot do it as well as we can.
So
to drill.
In response to all of this, our cold open was about Germany honing in on a new energy source. And I shit you not, Germany is actually making the decision to fire up its coal power plants because Russia is choking off its natural gas supply to Germany and the rest of Europe. And it's interesting because President Trump basically called that shit when he was in office. We actually have a clip here from 2018. This is him basically scolding Germany for relying on Russia's natural gas, saying that they're now totally controlled by Russia. Listen to this.
Well, I have to say, I think it's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia, where you're supposed to be guarding against Russia, and Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia. So we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting all of these countries. And then numerous of the countries go out and make a pipeline deal with Russia, where they're paying billions of dollars into the coffers of Russia. So we're supposed to protect you against Russia, but they're paying billions of dollars to Russia. And I think that's very inappropriate. And the former chancellor of Germany is the head of the pipeline company that's supplying the gas. Ultimately, Germany will have almost 70% of their country controlled by Russia with natural gas. So you tell me, is that appropriate? I mean,
it's 68%. Sorry, it's 68%. That's a lie.
Controlled by Russia. because they were getting from 60 to 70% of their energy from Russia and a new pipeline.
It's amazing. It's amazing that this happens.
I think
And the smugness from reporters after he said this was amazing.
I don't think it should have happened. Now, if you look at it, Germany is a captive of Russia because they supply. They got rid of their coal plants. They got rid of their nuclear. They're getting so much of the oil and gas from Russia. I think it's something that NATO has to look at. I think it's very inappropriate. You and I agree that it's inappropriate.
So that's one part. The second part is that at the United Nations, this was in, well, this is a flashback, but also 2018 United Nations. Check this shit out. Maybe if they'll play.
Reliance on a single foreign supplier can leave a nation vulnerable to extortion and intimidation. That is why we congratulate European states such as Poland for leading the construction of a Baltic pipeline so that nations are not dependent on Russia to meet their energy needs. Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansionist foreign powers.
Look at these pieces of shit. Look at these smug pieces of shit. And go to the next one. Go to the next tab. Look at these faces and go to the next tab. No, your next tab. Your next tab. Your next fucking tab. Your tab, yes. Thank you. So remember the smug faces and look over here.
I'm looking for imagery. I don't see any, but anyways,
Right here, the headline. The headline.
Okay.
Russia
Germany
chokes
takes their
off its
decision.
natural gas, and they're reverting back to coal.
Someone said in the chat, I think it was Josh and
Yeah, and where are they getting that coal from?
yeah, Jay, where are they getting that coal from?
It's just absolutely fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing that all of this stuff is happening and coming into this fucking prediction that Trump made. It's coming alive. He also made a prediction that when Biden comes into office that we're going to see $7-8 a gallon for gas, and they're going to just tell you to go get an electric car.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what's going on. It's just insane. I don't know what to say.
Rory Mesker says,
Germany.
"Can I get a fuck Germany? Fuck Germany.
Fuck Germany.
There you go. Fuck Germany. They totally deserve it. They deserve everything that they're getting and more. And honestly, again, it's a crisis of their own making.
Yep.
And I guess the moral of the story is when you see some government doing something that basically gets the praise of like the global elite, the way that Angela Merkel, the German chancellor at the time, got praise, as Jana says. I was told Angela Merkel was a genius. There are a lot of people who are saying that once Trump was elected president, that the last, Angela Merkel was the last, or the leader of the free world, because she was the only one who the elites took seriously. I just would like to point out that anytime the elites praise someone, always think the opposite, or at least question it. I wouldn't say think the opposite, because I don't want to guide you and push you in an area of, but at least doubt or question everything that you're being told, but more so from the elites, just because every time they do something, it automatically backfires. We've seen everything happening under Biden right now. There has literally been no, I know, Jay, a lot of people talk about the Trump years as being like crazy every single day, like just nonstop, just like a flood of information. It was crazy when I was working as a journalist in DC, but I'm just telling you, it was almost, sure, not every day was perfect, but in terms of like the overreaction to like a Trump tweet, I I'm sure most Americans would take that any day over what we're dealing with right now.
Oh, absolutely. Like their pensions would agree, their 401ks would agree, their fucking paying at the gas pump would agree, like all of that kind of stuff would agree. And we're expected to sit here and think that it was so horrible during the Trump years, like it was so
Yeah.
absolutely
Like we
whatever
literally
it
had Hitler
deserved
in power.
at 11. And this is again, this is the journalists and media, this is their fucking downfall. They were at 11 over every little thing, but then here at Biden's administration, they say it's not the same. They say we can treat it differently. They say we don't have to call out say that they're lies. They say all of this fucking garbage bullshit just because they vote for this type of shit. They are biased as fuck on this type of shit. But when it's going to hurt, when it goes to hurt working class Americans and middle class, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They do not care.
They do not care. For one, they don't care, but also the again, by design, because I think there are many forces both outside and within the United States that are seeking to destroy the United States, on the principle that its government of or at least the provisions of its of the country's constitution giving people actual freedom to challenge those in power, to speak truth to power, to maintain firearms, to have families and not be regulated by the government in the way they have their families. I mean, I think what the elites fear most is people having too much freedom. And if America falls, that's it. There's nowhere else to go. There legitimately is nowhere else to go. Name a country freer than the United States. Don't give me that shit about like Scandinavia, like I've heard this shit from plenty of libs before, that saying that countries like Canada and Norway and Sweden and Finland and Denmark and like all those like like those pseudo socialist nations. Look what the fuck is happening in Canada, Jay, just in this last half year alone, with the way that Justin Trudeau has completely skull fucked the entire country. And the worst part about it, the worst fucking part about it, Jay, is that a majority of Canadians go along with this shit and actually think this is a good idea. They have bought into this. They've bought into this hook, line, and sinker. They think that, look, Canada, Trudeau's response to a crisis in into another country, in the United States, the Uvalde massacre, was to basically confiscate and make all handguns essentially illegal.
100%.
That's the Canadian response, knowing full well that only major gun violence happens in the inner cities and like the most like liberal beacons within Canada, like Toronto, for example. It's not like Canada is somehow like above gun violence. They don't have just by virtue of like raw numbers, they simply just don't have nearly as many people, and obviously have a different culture, and maybe you have different resources. Maybe they have maybe they're able to focus on mental health. I don't fucking know, but they're going after problems that obviously are if Canadians had a Second Amendment, they would not have the lockdowns, and they definitely would not have a vaccine or mask mandate the way they've had well past its due date, well past its expiration date. I don't know what to say, man.
Drink.
Guess I should.
That's what should happen. Drink and drink and drink.
So yeah, I know we kind of got off on the beat. I think we covered pretty much everything. Maybe we get to our favorite section of the entire night. Ask us anything.
Yes.
It seems like an ask us anything type of time right now.
Yes, it is.
Came back. I think I chased them away.
You might have.
I scared them away. So ask us anything, Habibis. Again, we're on Rumble. We're streaming. Rumble's our home, but we're also streaming the YouTube. We're streaming the Twitch. Go ahead, ask us your questions. Of course, we respond better to super chats because you're literally paying us to ask us your question.
Exactly.
But if you have other questions, feel free to ask us. We did a what's it called? We did this local stream the other night for the list, and we boomered the hell out of that because Jay, what happened?
Were you boomering the hell of it, or me boomering the hell of it on the list stream?
More of a we, Jay. More of a we.
Okay, all right. I'll accept it. It was more of a we thing, even though I told you, like, going to Discord wasn't going to change anything. But to be fair, what we can really say, it's more of a locals thing. It's not a we thing. It was a locals thing. So maybe next time we can do it, and they can get a little bit more acquainted with using OBS, and we can start doing streams on there. But for now, we'll probably just have to continue doing it the way we're doing it,
the old school way. Gain Trust, Habibi. That's our buddy Mike. Says, Jay, have you been lifting? Looking decent, Habibi.
Oh, thank you, Habibi. I'm trying to get back onto a diet and working out regularly and stuff, but it's been hard, especially with how work is going right now. Like, I have just not had the time. I'm barely getting home in time here to start doing the streams of the list streams and stuff.
Samesies. Blake By, the King Simp. He says Simp Czar, but that's really him being a simp for Russia, and I refuse to acknowledge that. So he says, have you boomers looked into the cattle that died last week due to the heat wave in Kansas? Actually, I haven't seen it. Jay, I think I know what happened. Blake killed them. He killed them all.
That's what it is. Resign. Blake, resign.
Why'd you do it, Blake? Just tell us why. I just want to know why. Why did you kill those cattle? I'm waiting. Hobby says, how much does Jay charge for a happy ending?
Your mom free. Your grandmother $5.
And then he also asks, how much to do a bottomless stream?
$69.
Inshallah, per month. Hold on. Sandra Matthews says, you say you have full-time jobs. Siraj works for Rumble. What does Jay do besides harass Siraj?
Going on to the next question. Siraj and Jay, if Blake can go a week without talking about himself, can you keep your shirts on for a month? Deal.
Deal.
Because we know that's not going to happen.
Come up with provisions about this, and that includes Discord, Twitter, the chat on both Rumble, YouTube, and locals, and Twitch, and basically anywhere that Blake has access to a phone. If he mentions one thing about himself, the shirts are flying right off.
100%. I think that's a fair bet.
I think so. Prison Mitch says, can you talk like a Zoomer in a Pakistani accent? You got to give me the prompt.
What are your pronouns?
Yeah. Sir, my pronouns are suck dick.
I like the pronouns. This is
great.
Good. What do you identify as?
I am most sexy man.
That's what you're
sexy man. In fact, my new pronouns, sir, are too sexy.
Too sexy. I like it. Sexy. That's a good pronoun. So let's say you're at a bar. How would you pick up a chick?
I'd say, can you talk like Zoomer in Pakistani accent? That is what I say.
Perfect. You know what I'm gonna do next time? I'm not even joking. You and me in Florida, we're gonna go out and you're going to be my wingman, and I'm going to go up to every chick and say exactly that. Can you talk like a Zoomer in a Pakistani accent? I saw you from across the room, and I just got to ask, can you talk like a Zoomer in a Pakistani accent? Perfect.
You should be able to do it. Where's my
No.
prompt?
We're gonna go, and I'm gonna ask women that. That's gonna be my question to women when in Florida.
I need to
Come September.
come. Where's the Prison Mitch thing? Where's the Prison Mitch Zoomer? I'm looking for the specific meme. Give me a moment here.
Oh, you're looking for? I was like, dude, we just had it up. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no,
we just had it on there. Okay, Hobby, as you're looking for it, ruthless podcast question: what wild animal do you think you can fight barehanded? A cat.
I will get defeated by Ernie. So, can I beat barehanded? Well, I've always thought about fighting the wild non-tickles by just playing with those bitch tits with my hands, and that would be enough to defeat them.
Wild non-tickles?
Yeah. Haven't you heard of the wild non-tickles?
I have not. I don't know what that is. Wild non-tickles?
You don't know what a wild non-tickles is? I'll show you. Do I need to elaborate?
Nope, I get it.
Okay.
And on that note, I am hungry.
No, hold on. Wait, I need to find the speaking like Zoomer.
You're still looking at it.
I can't find it because President missed it and put it in the comments. Where is it? It's gonna drive me nuts.
Holy fuck. Dude, this is so good.
Am I gonna find it?
I think you will. I
don't know if I'm gonna find it. Please, someone send me the Zoomer prompt so I can say it in Pakistani accent, sir. Give me 1 second here. Answer some more questions, Jay, while I find this.
Okay, go for it. Ask those questions.
Okay, sir. Here it is.
Oh, this is it. No cap.
It is no cap. That tweet is mid AF. FR dead ass. You just made Liz shorty.
So good. This is so good. And honestly, like the Photoshop skills from Prison Mitch are like top notch. They really are. They're so good.
Not only top notch, but they also they really captured my likeness here. As in, he did a really good job putting this beard on me.
He did a very, very good job. Yeah. And the pouty lips and stuff too. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So do we have anything else, Jay? You gonna go get something to eat?
Yes, sir. I gotta go cook.
Jay, the only thing
and I'm the only one who drank.
The only thing you're eating is ass tonight.
Hell yeah. And then going for Taco Bell.
So Habibis, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Habibi Power Hour. We will be back next week for an all-new episode. We'll probably have a list stream
on locals,
give or take, on a day that works for both of us. We'll keep you posted. We'll probably boomer it as we always do, but you can always essentially 100% stay locked here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. East, 6 p.m. Pacific on Rumble for Habibi Power Hour. And from that, I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
And we'll see you next time. Peace and mess to them.